Mi querida Mayra, bienvenida. Welcome to El Poder Latina SEO podcast, hosted by Covedosa. It is such an honor to kick off
Gracias.
Latina and
Yes.
Hispanic Heritage Month. Celebrate it with you, sharing your story with just the world. I cannot wait for them to know who you are and just the amazing things you bring to the world, Mayra. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes. Thank you so much, Elisa. And like we were just saying, what a perfect timing to begin this conversation on day one of Hispanic Heritage Month. So very excited to get the cafecito chat going.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Welcome to this awesome space where our goal is to truly uplift all of our bold Latinas who are really making strides and overcoming so many challenges, right? To be successful in their fields, in their careers, in their homes, in their lives, right? So tell us a little bit about you. Who is this amazing Jefa?
Yeah, so I know, as you know, my name is Mayra, and I grew up in a small town called Wasco in the central California. It's in a very rural area, so I grew up with seeing a lot of farmers get the food for, not just our state, but the country.
Right.
Parents working hard as a secretary and a custodian, parents of two daughters. I'm the eldest of two. And as great as it was growing up in a small town, because family is there, and, my heart is always like core con la familia. I knew that I wanted to explore and see what else was out there. So I applied to university outside of my hometown. Well, first of all, my hometown doesn't have a university, but the closest one is like 30 minutes away. But I still wanted farther, and not in the sense of like I need to get away, in the sense of like I want to see who I am in a new area without like what I grew up with. I just was curious, and I think that's like the theme. I was always curious. I left. I went through to UC Santa Barbara, which is 3 hours away. And it's not super far, but it was far enough for a first generation college student, first generation, this daughter going to school.
I
And it
love it.
was very lonely, to say the least.
I totally understand. Yes. Sometimes we take the leap, right? And taking the
Mm-hmm.
leap and going to the other side of the grass can feel lonely, right? And it's not as greener as we think it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be. But Manita, you overcame. You did it.
Yeah.
You took the leap. You made the decision to change your environment, do something different. And I also see here that you pursued education, right? You pursued a master's in education. Tell me a little bit more about what led you to that particular career and how that shifted over the years.
Yeah, so when I graduated first with a bachelor in sociology and applied psychology. So I think that itself was like the foundation to me seeing the world in a different way. Like there's just not one way to see the world. There's so many people from different um, cultures, from different generations, just from different walks of life who make up the world, and that fascinated me. Learning all of that comes with sociology, also was working part-time at a preschool, and so I was a teacher's assistant for the littles. Just loving that so much, I thought, well, I didn't really know what I want to do, but I know I love this. Maybe I should into education, and maybe I can teach in a variety of schools, again, different zip codes. And going back to sociology, determine the funding that a school gets and the resources that they get, the knowledge from the parents. So I was like, maybe I can be that bridge as a teacher. Is when I'm teaching in zip codes that are not as affluent, I can be like the liaison to give the kids what they need, given that we live in this very interesting world. So I did it. And so, yeah, that's why I got my master in education. And I started teaching for a few years, majority, and I loved it. The kids were just so excited to be there. Teaching was just
We love the
lit
little
me up.
ones.
That day, every day was perfect. I came home tired most days, but then sleep and you do it again. But unfortunately, over the years, it started to take a toll on me, especially on my mental health. And again, not necessarily with the students, but with the system of
Right.
education and how there was a lot of inequalities in it. So I, I would love, to one day go back, and maybe not in the sense of a teacher, but as something else to help bridge a lot of gaps that I saw at least at the time, felt like I'm just one person. How can I solve this? And in the moment, it was just affecting my mental health where I knew that I had to do something else. And that thought scared me, like, because I went to school for something. I was like a rule follower. I did everything by the book, check, check, check. And to not do something by the book was like very frightening. Like, am I actually going to, one, I don't even know what I'm going to do. Two, when I finally decided that, okay, I'm going to not just go get another job, but run a business, I was like, wow, Mayra, you really went from 0 to
Me
100, and
encanta, me
what you want to do
encanta. You did
next?
it con miedo, sin
Con miedo y
miedo, te
todo.
lanzaste. I love it. I love it. And you know what? At the end of the day, you know what's the best part about this, Mayra? Is that you did it. You gave yourself a try, right? Like you gave yourself a chance and you gave that career a chance. And even though it ended up not working out, becoming a teacher and learning how to teach others, I am pretty confident that is such a valuable transferable skill that, as we continue to learn your story, I'm sure you have been able to incorporate the skill of teaching into your business,
Oh,
which is
every
so
day.
valuable right now. People need bite-sized, simple ways of learning how to
Mm-hmm.
do things. And
Mm-hmm.
teachers are just so good at teaching others and helping folks understand some of the most complex things in the
Oh,
simplest of ways.
oh yeah, and definitely I do it on a daily basis. Like natural, thankfully it comes naturally because of the years of doing that with my students. Obviously, it looks different with adults. They're the same core things I did with my kids, I do now with adults, like on client calls.
I love it. I love it. Talking about clients, right? You're saying my clients, my business, espérate, because we have
I know, so I'm getting ahead of
a
myself.
jefa. Tenemos una jefa aquí en el podcast. Manita, tell us what inspired you to start your journey as a jefa.
So, because I was starting to struggle with my mental health, and I know that much of it stemmed from the work environment I was in, I decided to finally do something for me. And it made me realize that all of these years, I was always doing something for others. And maybe by others, it was like a subconscious of maybe they never really put.
And we do it. We do it all the time, especially as immigrants, tú sabes, as members of a Latino community and family.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that you are speaking out about this because I can see that it's hurting you. But I'm so glad that you decided to break out from that. It is fuerte, manita. If nobody has told you this, you are so strong. You are so incredible.
Thank you. I always get emotional when I get to this point of my story. Obviously, I have a lot of more work to do in this area, but I do look back and I see like I have done everything by the book for so long, bent over backwards for people to feel comfortable. I put myself in the shadows. I don't never want to be the center of attention. And then finally, I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of going by the book. I'm tired of doing what society expects of me. I want to try something for myself, and it may work and it may not, but I want to at least try. So I got on the internet. I just started looking up, what do teachers do when they don't want to teach anymore? And then Google kept pulling up a pattern of the word copywriter. And at the time, marketing was nowhere in my mind. My mind was full on education mode. So I Googled that and I got the gist like, okay, these people write in a strategic way for somebody to take action. And I thought, I feel like I've gotten those type of messages before, like on emails, and they're really sleazy. Like, that's not my vibe. So, no, thank you. But then the algorithm did its thing. I was doom scrolling on my couch one night and I saw an ad that talked about ethical marketing. So the
Ooh, I
word
love
ethical,
that.
yeah, it caught my eye. I was like, what do you mean by ethical? Like, is there such thing? So I clicked on that, went down that funnel, and next thing I knew, I was enrolled in a copywriting course that was all about ethical marketing. So yes, we learned like copy techniques and strategies, but it always came back to using it for good and using it to encourage others and not to manipulate. So that was like the core of what how I wanted to learn it. Like I could have learned it from anywhere, but I wanted to
Absolutely.
learn it from that space because I knew that when I was ready to start taking clients, that I wanted to write for people who shared that vision, that they have something exciting to share with the world, that they have their own talent and vision, and they want their community to feel excited and empowered with their offer. So of course, you pair that with my words and strategy, and it becomes this like ripple effect of empowerment.
Love it. I love it. It seems to be, and what I love about this story is that while you were doing some exploration, right, and figuring out what was the next step for you, what was next for you, you stumbled upon something that aligned with your values and who
Hmm.
you are as a person and what path you wanted to take as you thought about entrepreneurship, right? As you
Hmm.
thought about becoming a jefa. And that was doing things right, right? Not lying to people when it comes to marketing, not lying to people when it comes to the copywriting that you put together and the services that you provide to others. And I love that because I love the fact that as you were doing your research and figuring out what the next step was for you, you came across something that really aligned with your values and who you are as a person. So one of the things you mentioned is that you were like this quiet, shy, yet. Before we talk about your business, how do you break that? How did you just break from that type of, let's say personality, and you were like, you know what? Esa Mayra se fue pa fuera.
But honestly, I started seeing that change slowly in my undergrad years, and I think a big reason had to do with me joining a multicultural.
I
It's
love
called,
it. Which
yeah,
one?
Sigma Lambda Gamma,
I love it.
SLG.
I'm a member of Omega Phi Beta. Oh
Oh,
my God, we're
yeah.
Greeks.
So
I love it. Yes, sorority
even back
life
then, yeah. Go ahead.
does change you. When you find your community, especially as an undergrad, when you find a group that you can relate to culturally, professionally, my God, we become unstoppable. So tell me more.
Yeah, so that was definitely the turning point. I met these amazing women from, again, from all walks of life, all
Mm-hmm.
different cultures, but the thing that brought them together was their differences. Like they shared like what made them unique, what gave them strength. A lot of them were first gen college students, so we navigated that world together. We studied together, resources with each other, like, oh, I know this counselor who helps in this area. And I felt like I found my community. Like there are mujeres that look like me or have come from similar backgrounds to me, and I'm not alone in this setting where I didn't see people who looked that like me at the. So that's kind of started setting the stage in my head of like, I don't need to stop hide. These women next to me don't hide who they are. Why should I? So that mindset started just getting more and more in me, where I, would go home for family gatherings and I would talk more. I would like, I just felt less shy over time. And along with being less shy came with me feeling stronger and saying no to things. Cause I always, going to the yes girl, I would always want to not hurt others and even the smallest. I was like, I always had to say yes to favors because I don't want them to think this about me. Now it was like little things that were, if I didn't feel aligned to it, I was like, I don't feel like doing that right now. And it didn't feel awkward. In the beginning, ooh, to say no would have felt so awkward.
I'm sure. Well, you know what that means? You were setting boundaries.
Hmm.
For people like us who we love to just make other people happy, right? They're
Hmm.
so difficult for us to set, right?
Hmm.
Setting boundaries sometimes feels like you're making others feel bad, like you're not being of service to others. But when you set boundaries for yourself, you are actually being of service to you, right? And
Hmm.
protecting your energy, your time, and your mental health, just like you mentioned. I know you talked about mental health so much, and I know we have very short time, but one of the things that I want to ask you, I have two things to ask you, and that is, what does being Latina and how has your heritage influenced the way you do business?
Yeah, so when I think of myself as a Latina, I think of myself as fierce, as empowered, just like someone who
Me
has
encanta.
so much amor. Like I have a lot of love to
I
give.
love it.
That, or was the question about how it affects my heritage?
Yeah, so how does your culture, right, being Latina, how does being Latina influences maybe the way you do business, or how does that influence your business in general?
Yeah, so now that I am a business owner and I've seen just the path that I've taken, but I've also seen the path that my parents, my abuelos have took, want to honor them in my work. That means that even though I am writing for change making business owners, people who have purpose in what they're selling, I also want to show that in my business, I incorporate a little bit of Spanglish. So if you see anything like on my website or my
Me
socials, you'll
encanta.
always see a little bit of Spanglish because it's like I'm proud of who I am and where I'm from. And I want others to see that.
I love it. I love it. We're so proud. We love our heritage. We love being Latina. And I think being Latina really helps us drive what we do and how we handle business, which I think is so admirable. So, Maribel, I'm going to finish this interview and then I'll plug back in. Okay, mi amor?
All right.
Oh my God. I love it when you guys are on time. Okay,
Yeah.
so last thing, let's close this up. So to close our conversation, tell us what is your business and how we can support you.
Yeah, so my business is I'm a marketing strategist and copywriter. So I help a lot of purpose driven business owners with their email campaigns, sales pages, website copy, just helping them find those messaging gaps so that they can present their offer in a very strategic way. And obviously, putting that authenticity with it. So when I talk to them, I make sure that I really get to the root of their deeper why so that it shows in their messaging and it doesn't sound like everybody else or like the very salesy words that you see online. That's the gist. And if anyone is needing copy strategy support, and reach me through my social channels on Instagram as Cultural Visionaries, my LinkedIn, Mayra Gomez-Sanchez, and my website under
Ya
Cultural
ustedes saben,
Visionaries.
familia, ya
Mhm.
saben, there is no excuse. If you want to support Mayra and really access her services, learn a little bit more about what she do and how she does it, just reach out to her. We're going to leave all her information in this episode, and we truly look forward to seeing you continue to have the success that you deserve, Manita. Mayra, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having this short cafecito talk with me, and I look forward to supporting your business. Okay, Manita?
Gracias,
Un
Elisa.
abrazo.
Ciao.